There's something most people don't realize until much later. It's not that life changed them. It's that, slowly, they stopped questioning it. And by the time they noticed, questioning no longer felt natural. This is that realization. Early in life, you question almost everything. Why things are done a certain way. Why people accept what they accept. Why you're expected to want the same things. Over time, that questioning fades. Not because you found answers, but because repetition made the questions feel unnecessary. When something repeats long enough, it starts to feel correct, even when it isn't. Acceptance doesn't arrive as agreement. It arrives as exhaustion. You get tired of resisting routines, tired of explaining yourself, tired of imagining alternatives that require effort. So you accept things not because they feel right, but because they feel familiar. And familiarity is calming. That's how awareness gets replaced without you noticing it happen. Thinking deeply is demanding. It requires uncertainty. It creates discomfort. It challenges stability. So most people don't avoid thinking because they're incapable. They avoid it because life rewards not doing it. You're praised for fitting in, for adapting, for being realistic. Slowly, depth feels impractical. At some point, life looks settled from the outside. You have structure, predictability, a rhythm. But internally, something feels unresolved. Not wrong, just unfinished. You sense that certain questions were never answered. They were postponed. And postponement, over time, turns into silence. The realization arrives when life finally slows down. A quiet evening, a long pause, a moment with no distractions. That's when you notice how long it's been since you last challenged your own direction. You realize you didn't consciously agree with everything. You just stopped disagreeing. And that understanding lands heavily. This realization is unsettling because it doesn't come with blame. No one forced you. Nothing dramatic happened. You weren't defeated. You simply adapted until adaptation felt like identity. And undoing that feels complicated. Because adaptation brought stability, just not clarity. Adaptation helps you survive, but it also narrows you. It trims away possibilities that don't fit the current structure, not violently, politely. So the cost isn't obvious. You don't lose everything at once. You lose options gradually. That's why the realization comes late. Most people don't wake up one day and realize they're unhappy. They wake up realizing they stopped asking why they're doing what they're doing. That's a different kind of awareness, and it doesn't demand immediate action. It simply explains why certain things started feeling distant. If this makes sense now, it likely wouldn't have earlier, and that's not a failure. Some realizations don't exist to change your life. They exist to explain how your life became what it is. Understanding doesn't always arrive to disrupt. Sometimes it arrives to make the past clearer. And clarity, even when it comes late, still has weight. Because now, at least, you see what slowly faded while everything else stayed the same.